Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Learning with Leverage. My name is Jonathan Wright. I'm the Director of Sales and Consultative Services here at Leverage Payment Solutions. And today we have our very special guest, Trellance. They've been a partner of ours for, almost since I've been here for about 2 years now, and they do amazing analytics. And in our day and age, analytics and having that data is everything. I love the old joke that Elon Musk does not sell electric cars, he sells data. And that's why it's so important. So Trellance is going to talk to us today about what they do, how they partner with the league and with Leverage to offer you guys incredible analytic tools to help you make your credit unions more successful, more efficient, and so we can stay on top of the competitive nature of our industry. So I will stop talking and turn it over to Aaron.
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you everybody for joining this webinar. We are going to try to make this as fun as possible. Sometimes when you think about data and analytics, you get into the weeds and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a daunting task. But at the end of it, Trellance can help credit unions figure out how to make it personal, right? We're all in the business of helping members and meeting members, not only where they are today, but where they are in the future. And things have changed in the last 10 years, 5 years, 6 months. And we really wanted to focus on, just for this learning webinar, about how to make it personal. At the end goal of everything, how are you going to give the member what they want? Things have been changing constantly, ever evolving. Jonathan brought up Elon Musk. My friend actually works right below Elon Musk at Tesla, and he says it's a very scary environment. He's ex-military, so he thrives on being scared at all times. And Elon Musk is kind of like Batman. He shows up any given time, any given hour, at any given day, and he will do whatever he thinks is right for Tesla, for SpaceX, for anything else that he wants. But my buddy, actually, I'll just tell a story. He has to have a pre-meeting with the chief of staff before any meeting he has with Elon Musk to talk about all the points of the meeting that he needs to hit. And he said at the beginning of Tesla, if somebody went off script, then Elon would say, you're fired.
Oh, yikes.
And they had all of this data, and Elon is data driven, and he wants to make the right decisions, not based on his personnel, but what the business is going to drive towards. And he really takes data personally, and he wants it to drive the organization, and he wants the people to take data-driven decisions and make Tesla better or SpaceX better. So thank you, Jonathan, for bringing up Tesla. And, I always think about Elon in a little Batman costume, because he just shows up at all times. So what we're going to talk about is the last mile of data, which is personalization and member experience. So when you think about personalization, it's all around us. I think everyone knows what's on the left. On my left for Netflix, right? They use algorithms and data to tell you exactly what you should watch. It's like you don't even have to turn on your brain anymore. You see, you know what? I watched Friends with my wife last week. Now I need to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because that's a little bit more funny for us men in the room. But they just tell you exactly what you need to do. They give you that personalized touch. It wasn't always the case, but Netflix has evolved through data and analytics to give you that personalized experience, so you don't even have to think about it, because 99% of the chance they're right. And then for all of the parents around us, you get an email now. You get a personalized outreach for all of your kids that are going to college. They open it up. You don't get the snail mail anymore. You get an email, you open it up, they give you a whole video of what the college looks like and how your experience is going to be perfect the first day that you walk on into the campus. So this is just a snapshot of how many different credit unions, not even credit unions, just industries are using data and analytics. But 5 years ago, if you think about it, has anybody seen the next slide before? You
Now that
go
we,
into
yeah, now
Netflix.
that we've been talking about Batman, that's gonna show up on all of our Netflix profiles in the next day, right?
No, that's only on Facebook. I think
Yeah,
we'd be
I
fine.
guess.
I'm not on Facebook anymore. I got off, so nobody needs to look up my name on Facebook. But 5 years ago, the algorithms and they weren't using data effectively, so they would give you the wrong personalization, right? They would give you what your kid was watching on Netflix. My kid only watches Blippi and Bluey, right? But if I click on to the wrong one, I'm like, man, now I have to figure out what I want to watch. And we've moved past that personalization. So now in Netflix, it says, is Aaron Grossman watching it? Is Gabby Grossman watching it? Or is it JoJo or Cruz watching it? And you can go into your certain setting to hit all of the personalization. And that's really what we're going to talk about today, is just how data and how personalization, especially within the credit unions, can really help keep your member top of wallet with your credit union. They're going to make you the PFI and everything like that. So we're going to go into some stats right now just to show you exactly what that means. And at the end of it, we all want it. We all have an iPhone or a Samsung or an Android, and it's all about that thumb swipe. You want to have everything right there at your fingertips, and you don't want to click more than a couple times in order to get exactly what you're looking for. So when we boil that down to where credit unions can focus on, we call it hyper personalization, because everything needs to sound great, right? So hyper personalization builds trust, and more than 70% of credit union members now expect some sort of personalization, whether it's you're getting an auto loan, you're getting your new mortgage, you're buying a house. They want it, right? So more than 70% of credit union members want it, and then you get frustrated if you don't. And I think 6%, not that big, right? But if 70% want it and 76% members are getting frustrated, then you need to meet 100% of your members, not only where they are today, but where they want to go, right? And credit unions drive more than 30 to 40% of revenue through personalized member experiences. So one of the questions I want to ask, hopefully at the end, and people can answer who are on this, is what are you using right now? Are you using it? And what is the detriment for not using it? I think that is the biggest key takeaway of this presentation is, if you're not doing it, what are you missing out on? The question or the answer is you're missing out on new members or member experience or member satisfaction. So just think about all three of these things as we move forward. We're going to keep this very high level. Usually with these webinars, we have very immature credit unions that are just trying to get into data and analytics. And then we have the more mature credit unions that are utilizing this and seeing success. But for the baseline, if you know that your members want it, you know they're unhappy if they don't get it, and you're not using it, then you're not getting the revenue, you're not getting the member satisfaction, or you're not getting the new members that you want. So just take those away as I pass it off to Amanda. I didn't even introduce myself. I got really excited. My name's Aaron Grossman. I'm the VP of Sales for Trellance. I've been working with Jonathan for as long as I've been here. So just right around a year and a half. We love working with Leverage, and we love working with all of you, and we hope we work with you more. But with that, I will pass it off to Amanda.
Thanks so much, Aaron. And I'm Amanda Emery. I'm one of the product managers here at Trellance. I work with the data management and data analytics products. And a lot of the products that we offer here at Trellance and also just, in consulting and working with our credit union customers, to master hyper-personalization, you need to have two things down. You need to have data, And you need to have an understanding of what your membership wants in terms of an omni-channel strategy. So what is omni-channel? It's a term that's thrown around a lot these days. It really means, to what Erin's point earlier, you're meeting your members where they are, but also how they want to be met. So how do they want to be communicated with? How do they want to receive information? What are their preferences? And you can get very in depth with that type of information. We're going to walk through a few examples today, but first you really need to identify what type of personalized experiences will speak to your membership base. Do they prefer electronic communication, such as email or an online banking pop-up? Do you still have some members who prefer a mailer? You know, there definitely are still a segment of people who like opening up something in the mail, you know. There's something satisfying about that, right? But if you have disparate systems where sentiment is kept in one place, maybe a CRM system where you keep notes about your membership, you have core data about who the members are and what they have with you, and then you have all of these other systems that house maybe your loan origination, your credit card information, and then your marketing fulfillment platform. If all of those systems don't talk to each other, it is really hard to get a picture of who your membership is and what they want, right? So mastering that data, helping bring it all together, that's one thing that our data warehouse does at Trellens. But any way that you have to aggregate that data and ensure that you're looking at really who these members are, that's how you can start to tell a story. I worked at a Tampa-based credit union for 11 years. I led the member experience team there, and we actually started an omni-channel team. We actually called them omni-channel advocates. And we did that because we knew how important it was to really understand what your members want before they even know they want it, right? So understanding who you have, and it all begins with the data you have at your fingertips. If you have any sort of way to identify your membership as a whole, having dashboards that show you what new membership you have, what your total membership count is, you can actually have the data at your team members' fingertips to decide what you want to accomplish. So let's say you want to have a member engagement campaign for your new membership. That was one of the things that my omni-channel team did primarily, is they would welcome new members. And we determined at that time that having an actual physical touch, a white glove experience, was the strategy that we wanted to take with our most engaged members. So I'm sure a lot of you have, membership engagement criteria, programs that identify who your most engaged membership is, right? Sometimes it's really hard to do that without data in, visual form in front of you. But if you have, those lists of people, and you want to make sure that you're targeting either a welcome campaign for new membership or re-engagement, what you can do with a tool like the data warehouse is you can segment down, okay, how many accounts were opened in this month, and then find out who those members are. Again, having all of the data together to say not only who these members are, but what is their preferred method of communication. That's when having an omni-channel strategy can really be the most powerful, right? Who are they? What do they have with you? Here's an example list that you can drill through to within our dashboards. What this will do is allow you to feed an omni-channel marketing platform. So we have some partners that we work with at Trellens, MediaWide, ChannelNet, but you may have a HubSpot, a Marquee type platform that you can then take these lists and help communicate in a very personalized way. You can, in this case, you're able to double click on a member in order to see their member profile and, see who they are. So it's important to have this data from not only a high level perspective, so your executives, your management of your credit union understands the overall picture of your membership health, but we are even getting to the point where on an individual employee basis, we have the power to give your call center advocates or your branch officers the ability to act with an intelligence when you're speaking to a member. So here's an example. This is Gabrielle. She is a member who lives in a major metro area. This dashboard is giving you all of the KPIs about her that will be important to, have a conversation with her. It would be cool too if Erin, if we had her recent Netflix history, right? We could have some sort of supervised experience. There are ways to bring in third-party data like that, but that would be a neat use case. But you can see how much money she has with your credit union. You can see what her credit score is, what she does, and even better, our predictive analytics allow you to see what the next best product to talk to her about. I wish I had something like this for my team when I was at the credit union I worked for. They had to look at probably 10 different systems on any given call just to determine what they needed to discuss. And just having it all together allows you to have the member experience right at your fingertips to really know who this person is. And a good example is if Gabrielle is not someone who uses online banking, right? And we talk to her about, that could be a referral opportunity for further engagement, of course, but if that's just not something that she wants to do, and we choose to market to her in an electronic platform, that wouldn't necessarily meet her where she needs that information. So having it all together in an omni-channel method allows you to have a flow for onboarding. So this is similar to how we did this at my credit union. You want to have a welcome email in the first couple of days. If she's someone who has an email address active with your credit union, you can create notifications. You can make it extremely personal, having delivery of information back to you within this type of flow. If you have a marketing fulfillment platform that'll support that. And also another venue that it was just getting started when I worked on the member experience team, but having SMS messages, and we're so used to that now, right? Probably in the last 4 or 5 years, that's become the prevalent way that we're communicated with from the businesses. But you don't want to receive just a generic SMS that says, thank you for your account. Well, what does that mean? You want to receive something that's meaningful to you and calls you to action. That's a really, really great strategy, is having a call to action in those emails, in those texts. That'll help the member want to engage with you and your team. Whether you want the white glove experience where it's a person at the other end when they click to talk back to you, or if it's just a personalized message. The more you can get someone to engage from the very beginning, the more likely they are to have more products and services with you. So as mentioned, you can have a short, engaging message. You want it to be have nice, friendly faces on there. Welcome to this. This is a false credit union, a fake example, but welcome to the family. You want to have engaging language that really invites your members to want to be a part of your credit union, and make sure there's a call to action there. There are really great examples of personalized videos as well. I'm sure some of you have received those from various companies, but if you make it just a little bit personal, you know exactly what account she opened, or that she opened a family account, so you include a family message in there. That's the way that people will really be hooked from day one. They think you know them. They feel that they're actually a part of your financial institution, and that you're not just another number. You're not just another person opening up an account. But being welcoming, engaging, you can have these type of tools that interact with the lists that you derive from a data warehouse, and you can create these in any of the different channels that you have available to you. So whether you utilize online banking pop-ups, you utilize email, you utilize mailers, those are all options that you can use to make sure that you're reaching your members however they want to be communicated with. And here's some more stats for you. So 62% more engagement comes from a personalized message. So if you have personalization within your outreach attempts, people are 62% more likely to spend time on your page. So that's really important because your marketing teams work hard. You put that information out there for a reason. If they feel as if it's just a generic message, they're less likely to pay attention. And also conversion rates to actually interact with the message. So if it is a call to action to open up an account, or an offer to upsell, maybe they've just opened a checking and savings, you want to offer them a credit card. That was a very common campaign that we would run for new members. You would have the ability to see that they're pre-approved and offer them an account right off the bat. Those conversion rates of clicking on that message, taking action to open that account are way more increased when you have a personalized message. So, and then renewing, if you have, a service, or maybe let's say a share certificate, something that needs an action to retain the account, you are more likely to get that retention if you have personalization in your messaging as well. One other use case I want to talk to you about before I hand it back to Erin is adding additional data. So we kind of mentioned the Netflix example. That was a little bit of a dream one. I've never seen anyone do that. That would be really cool if we did. But behavioral preferences, householding, having segmentation, who we actually offer through our predictive analytics, member segmentation and member lifetime value. Who are these people outside of your credit union? Do they have, a home? And even if you don't have the mortgage with them, have they purchased a home? Are they renting? What other organizations are they involved in? Can you be creative and make the messaging even beyond what they would expect from a financial institution? The opportunities are endless. And we have a data lake within Snowflake. It's a tool that allows you to bring additional data in along with your other systems, but there's a lot of ways that you can do this. If you bring all of that together, just be as creative as you can, and how you can be unique in that member's experience, because they interact with many different businesses on any given day, and you really want to stand out. You really want to show that you're engaged in caring about who they are as a person and their own health financially and personally. So the more data you can bring in to incorporate with your campaigns, the more likely you are to really bring them in, engage them from the start, and ensure that they're interested in anything you have to say moving forward. Erin, I'll hand it back to you.
So we actually have worked with the credit union that has gone through their digital member journey. And when I say journey, I think when it comes to data and analytics and personalization and using data for the end goal, which is member experience, it is a journey and it's never going to end. So if you just take a look at this timeline, what is that? That's 3 years of just incrementally growing your omni-channel and data and analytics program, I like to call it, because it's not a project. If it's a project, then you just want to get it done. But if it's a program, you're in it for the long haul. So if you just take a look, April 2021, they just launched a welcome to new and existing members. They basically are rebranding without rebranding. They are saying, you know what, we want to give them a better experience. And as you move forward, I'm not going to read through all of them, but they decided how to segment their members for their outreach. So in November 21 to January 22nd, or 2022, they decided they're going to add a product propensity data model, but they're also going to figure out what that segment of their member is so they can personalize it to where they think they want to target those members in order to get more acceptance or more satisfaction. And then as they started to do that and they started segmenting over the years, they've made bigger and broader personalization through data. And then this credit union, I think, was in Miami. So October 2022, Hurricane Ian relief, zip code match with FEMA. They're talking about how can we help you right now? You're in a catastrophe and we want to be there for you. They weren't sending that to people in Austin, Texas, like me. They were just mentioning it to the people in need. How would that make you feel? That would make you feel awesome. Wait, I wasn't reaching out to them. Like, I wasn't reaching out to the credit union, but they're reaching out to me because they know exactly what I'm going through. Think about how powerful that is in a time of need, when you might need relief on some sort of, maybe your credit card you couldn't pay because you had to put more money into relocating, or a hotel. And just think about that personalization. It makes you feel like the credit union actually knows me. And that's awesome. And then, November 2022, what was that? That was COVID. And they launched a mobile online banking. So you didn't have to go into the branch, but they were helping you when you needed it the most, whether it was because you couldn't leave your house or you didn't have a house. They were just staying one step ahead of where the member was in order to make them feel heard and wanted. And then we always say the journey continues. What's next? Who knows? But it's just these things. If you're seeing a return on investment, if you're seeing your member satisfaction scores go up, if you're seeing that they're buying more of your products because you met them at the right time, what does that mean? So it's not trial and error, but you do need to just pick a use case. You need to lean into that use case. You need to say, did that work for most of my members? And if it did, what's next? So it's not just, like I just said, it's not a project where it's like, okay, we sent out the hurricane relief thing. You want to keep that in your holster so the next hurricane happens, or a tornado. You want to learn from what you've done, and you just want to add on to those ideas to meet them in their next life crisis, or not even, well, I would call having a baby a life crisis because my life has changed. But what does that mean? How do you know with the data if Aaron Grossman and 500 other Aaron Grossmans in your membership are going to bye baby? What does that mean? How can you personalize a message based on the products that you have in order for them to think, yeah, your credit card gives me 10% back on every purchase at Home Depot or bye baby? What does that mean? That I would eat those up. So it really is a journey, but just think about life events and how you can personalize them instead of the mass emails. And that really is what hyper personalization is, and things that you should be thinking about. You can buy a lot of software to do this and automate it, but you can also just mine your data and tell your marketing team, you know what, we have, like Amanda showed in that spreadsheet, we have 150 people that have gone to Home Depot and they've spent more than $300. Well, then they're probably doing a home improvement. So what does that mean? Do you send them a HELOC? Do you send them a gift card? Whatever that is, it just makes them feel like you understand them. And that's really what the journey is. And I would ask everybody to focus on that moving forward. So the next slide is all about omni-channel. Who goes on the laptop anymore? I don't open my wife is always on her laptop when we're watching The Golden Bachelor or anything, but she's scrolling on Instagram on her laptop or on Amazon, but I'm on my phone. I am on my phone. I don't have anything other than my work laptop, and some of my searches probably aren't ready for my IT department to understand what I'm looking at. Like if I looked at a kegerator the other day. Like I don't think I want my my IT team to know that I want a kegerator, or maybe they do, I don't know. But think about all of the ways that you're getting all of your information. And this is really what we want to focus on as people aren't walking into the branches as much. How can you text them? How can you email them? We sent out an email for an event that we were doing, and the email was beautifully written because I wrote it. But what I didn't realize was I added pictures to it, but it wasn't compatible to the cell phone. And if you read an email and you have to scroll through your cell phone going left and right to get the whole picture, you're like, you know what, I don't really care about this event. So think about what are the avenues that people are getting? What are the channels that people are reading your information? QR codes after COVID, they're everywhere. I don't even see a menu anymore. I have to do the QR code and the menu pulls up on my phone. So think about that, and what does that mean for your organization? Your brand website, is it capable to be read on a tablet, on a phone, on a, I don't even know what else is out there because I'm technology deficient. Mobile banking, everyone wants to do it. I was on, Geico has been my insurance company for years, but I also have a credit union. Geico put me on hold as I was trying to get an umbrella policy on my house, and they put me on hold for 5 minutes, and the credit union that I have had that option on my phone. So while I was on hold with my AirPods on, I just went on to my credit union's app, and I got my umbrella policy pre-qualified before I could talk to a Geico person. So just think about the power of something small, but it means a lot. I needed an umbrella policy because I live in Austin, Texas, and it's been like 100 degrees for 1,000 days. So I put a pool in, and I needed the umbrella policy to make sure that I was protected if something went wrong. And then online banking, everyone has probably some sort of online banking platform, but is it right? I had a credit union that said, if your platform, our data warehouse platform, if I can't get to things in less than 5 clicks, then I am not going to purchase it, because if my frontline tellers cannot use your platform, then they can't service the member. So it's all of these things that we're innately using, but not thinking about it when it comes to our operational efficiencies with credit unions. So the credit union that did the journey, their 90-day results, once they went into this omni-channel using master data to get to this hyper personalization thought, in 90 days they saw, I can't even read that, what, 40% qualified leads. That's absurd. I don't even know what that number means, but that is huge. Qualified leads, member engagement skyrocketed. The unique member engagement, right? So how many people are actually going on to your system and being there for X amount of minutes or seconds went up. Emails to existing members, but the emails that meant the right thing to those members also skyrocketed. And this is the cool thing for me, unique visitors. That means if your member is having a good experience, they're telling their neighbor, their cousin, their coworker, and more people are being trafficked to your omni channels because they heard about a good experience, so they're checking it out. And then components viewed, that means that they're clicking through your website and they're just really trying to understand what else is there, what else do I need. And that's just in 90 days. So extrapolate that over the course of a couple years. How can you grow your membership through hyper personalization? And the answer is exponentially. So I'll leave you with this, and I know that we have a small group, so I don't know if everyone can be open for questions, but hopefully we can have the next 6 minutes to talk about it. But if you think about your products, you can stack rank which products you want to sell. I always say data and analytics is the end all be all. everybody thinks that they think they should sell something, but if you prioritize them, check it to the data, and the data tells you you might have to drive your credit union in a different direction. Everyone's like, "Ooh, indirect members, great. We have a lot of partnerships with auto dealers in our demo or geo, but it's hard to get an indirect member to be direct. So you can test that, and then you can change the course of your credit union based on, did it work? Did it not work? Hopefully it does work. But if it doesn't, then let's move on to your next product. Always focus on life stage events. I had a baby. Before the baby, I made a big purchase at a jewelry store. What does that tell you? That tells you that I either really like to wear an expensive chain, or I bought my fiance a diamond ring.
Or it was a
But
shotgun wedding.
Yeah, either way, we're not judging.
Either way.
both. But in between the expensive purchase and bye-bye baby, I also put a down payment on an event planning service. So those three things tell you where my life is. So you really want to focus on those things, and it's all available through data. And then natural disasters, unfortunately, they happen, and they're happening at an alarming rate these days. So how can you step in front of that and be there to help in a time of need? And these are just three main things that you can focus on. And then if you wanted to create a workflow on all three of these, there are so many other use cases underneath it. But we've found, while working with our credit unions, these three things really help the member, whether they don't have a life stage event, they just want to buy new products. They have a life stage event, then they'll probably buy more products. Or if they have a natural disaster, then they're probably going to buy some big ticket items. So these are just thoughts that we have. We wanted to make this educational, hopefully pretty much fun. It is Halloween, and my wife just got a bunch of Amazon packages because they probably knew exactly what was going on. So we are dressing up as Batman, Robin, the Joker, and I think my wife is being Cruella de Vil because she scares all of us.
Nice. That's a good
Nice.
one.
So I have unlocked it. There's 4 attendees. I've unlocked their mics so they can speak, so they don't have to ask questions. But as my title is Director of Sales and Consultative Services, I'm a client executive for my clients, and I am their voice when it comes to products and services, because my clients don't need to know everybody. They just need to know the people who know everybody, so we can help them be successful. This stuff sounds really amazing, but there's a lot of moving parts, and I have clients that go from 5 million in assets to $500 million in assets, because that's the community space that we serve. This is the underserved of the community. So is this an all or nothing? Can you cherry pick from these services? If someone's small, but hey, I don't want to get gobbled up, because let's face it, in today's market, it's either grow or be eaten when it comes to mergers, especially in our area. The 900-pound gorilla in the room is ViStar, just branching out, sucking up everything in North Florida. So, Aaron, what would you recommend to these smaller credit unions, or even the larger ones? Like, how do I get my foot in the door? Where do I put my foot in the pool for the first time? Just some of those pieces.
Yeah, so I will start, and then I'll pass it off to Amanda. I'm a sociology major, so I don't know much about anything. But I would say start small. Everyone's going through strategic planning right now. You're making initiatives for 2024. Pick one, be disciplined, lean into it, and see if it is the right strategic initiative. Data is behind all of the initiatives that credit unions use, whether you know it or not. So pick one and say, hey, I want to A/B test it. I want to do what I've been doing for the past 20 years, and I want to change it up. That does not mean that you have to purchase something. You can go into your ACH data. You can mine it a little bit. It takes a little bit of manual work, but that's also why Trellence and other vendors are here to do that. So you can see, is that the right initiative? Are you getting the right results? If you think it's a 3% increase in membership over a year, Well, you can keep on doing what you're doing, or you can start doing it with data and thinking about hyper personalization. Are you sending out the right emails? And I would just say start small, fail fast, and pick up by your bootstraps and do it again until something hits home. Or you're saying, you know what, we did it for 6 months and that isn't an initiative that is moving the needle. But Amanda, you worked at a credit union, so you probably have a better deeper idea than I do.
No, yeah, and so when I was at the credit union I worked at, we attempted to build our own dashboards, right, for data management and descriptive analytics. And it's a very hard thing to do. You know, we serve only credit unions, and so you know our products are priced and packaged intending for that audience. You know, if you do want a little bit more help and a tool to bring all of that data together, the data management side, our data warehouse is really where you want to start, because then you can choose to do anything on top of that yourself, right? If you want to analyze the data yourself, instead of having your BI team, if you have, you know, data analysts or business analysts or data specialists, instead of having them work every day just to put that data into a consumable format, they could be working, analyzing it and helping your teams take action on it for you, right? And your team having that at their fingertips is really powerful. We actually had referral expectations for my call center for our branch staff. I know for branch staff, that's a very common thing, but for a call center, it's not always. But it's because we gave them data to be able to speak in an educated fashion to a member, you know, about different products and services. So it just depends on where you are. As Aaron mentioned, you know, you can start with a list and start with a person's eyes analyzing that list and making steps, or you can, you know, kind of take the next step and use a tool that can help you get that exponentially out to your team. So
how long does like that basic product, that data warehousing product, take to implement? You know, what all is needed from the credit union as far as project management skills or resources? Because they will all wear 20 hats. They're doing 10 different things on 10 different days a week. What are some baselines for that, Amanda?
Yeah, so it also does depend on the pace that your credit union is ready to go, but 60 to 90 days is typically our you know, time frame. And it really takes, the more engaged the group that you know, implement with is the better, because the more they understand the tool, the more they're able to spread understanding about it throughout the rest of the company, you know. But we help you through all of that. So we're there every step of the way to help you validate data, to help you look at dashboards and understand them. And so we make it as you know, as seamless of a process as possible for you.